Hey Raghunath, tell everyone about our Patreon community.
Sure, Kastuba. The Wisdom of the Sages Patreon community is an incredible online yoga resource. If you like the type of yoga wisdom and culture we share on the show, then our Patreon community is a great next step. This is a listener-supported podcast, and any level of sponsorship will unlock a wide range of live and archived classes, talks, and even workshops.
Raghunath teaches, I teach, and we have a host of other excellent teachers on topics ranging from yoga philosophy, asana classes, storytelling, Ayurveda, kirtan, cooking, meditation, and a lot more.
We even have an incredible online Bhakti 12-step recovery group.
So if you want to check it out, go to patreon.com/wisdom of the sages.
All right, let's get it on.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Kastuba Das. Welcome to the show. Welcome to today's Wednesday study of the Srimad Bhagavatam. I'm here live with Miss Mara and Miss Maya, and Kastuba's in Rishikesh at the Kirtan Festival. Hare Krishna, Kastuba.
Hi, Rob.
All right, Bo. Shout out announcement for Italy. Our Italy retreat is happening, Miss Mara. What are those dates?
June 11th through 18th.
Seems like Danielle from the UK is going. She
Great.
says on the message board. This thing fills up every year. So if you're interested, go to, what's the email address?
You got to email wotsitaly@gmail.com.
It's fun.
You can't just go on the site?
Well, that's go on the wisdomofthesages.com/events and you go there.
Okay.
My website, and my pilgrimage is happening. Want to go on a pilgrimage to India? Check out my website, raghunath.yogi. And both Nepal and India pilgrimages are up. And this week, we're going to start to post all the events we're doing at the farm this year, including the Wisdom of the Sages event, which is happening on Memorial Day weekend this spring. So come join us here at Super Soul Farm.
It's a weekend
That's not
thing?
posted yet. You can't even register. Just desire it. Just desire it, and we'll see
No,
it at
save the
farm.
date.
Or
Save the
date.
Or save the date. Save the date. People can do that now with their iPhones.
Okay.
All right. We're all
Even
taking off
before
this
iPhones,
weekend.
people could save a date.
Could you save the date before iPhones?
Yeah.
We're all taking off for Cindy's wedding this weekend.
It's
I
also
wish I
Cindy's
could be there.
birthday today.
It's also Cindy's birthday today. It's a Wisdom of the Sages wedding, actually. They met through the Zoom board. Yes, you too can fall in love on Zoom. Everybody.
Making dreams
If
come
you're
true.
thinking, well,
over
what about
here.
me? I want to fall in love. It's happening right now. I arranged it on Zoom. I just texted each other privately. Hey, what do you think
Me
about?
too.
What do you think about aisle 2, number 3? What do you think about them? Oh, pretty good. What do you think about aisle 1, number 4?
No, Robin, we don't.
I didn't
that.
arrange it. But they did. I think private message. We should get to the bottom of their story. But here it is. They're getting married.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's great news.
it is great. They're great guys.
Couldn't happen to two nicer people.
Yeah, Stephen and Cindy, we wish you a lot of luck and love
Okay,
in service to Krishna.
get that in there.
We got to throw that in there too. We don't want you just to have
We don't want any
we
love
just don't want a
without
good
Krishna.
time without service to Krishna. That's called materialism.
No love, no happiness. All right, without Krishna in there.
Bring back arranged marriage Tuesday, Shauna Rishi said. Okay. All right. Mara, any other announcements, dear?
Yep. We have Bhakti Recovery Group meetings at 1 and 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you're in Alachua, there's a men's meeting this evening.
Oh, that's in person, huh?
Yeah.
All right. That's good. Men, they need meetings. They're all bottled up. But they can't share and be vulnerable.
Don't put men in a little box. You see, it's
It's really
that
easy
kind-
to. It's really easy to. They're all the same.
that's not right.
You know it. We know it. Every woman on here knows that. Okay. All the
We
women
got a
are
nugget
nodding.
today, Rogan.
Okay,
a nugget.
let's do our nugget. Where's my phone? We have a nugget for you.
Yeah. Come on. Pull the
Part of
trigger.
the problem. This is
Hold it.
from
Who are we talking about here? What?
This
Give
is
a little
this
bit
is
of context.
Mitch Albom, author of
This is-
Tuesdays with Morrie.
Yeah, I think this was spoken by Morrie. Do you know anything about Tuesdays with Morrie, Raghunath?
You know, I started reading and I was just like, I'm not going to do this. It was one of the... No, tell me, what do you know about it?
I don't know so much, but I got it right here. Tuesdays with Morrie. It came out in '97. It chronicles an important relationship in Mitch Albom's life, the one between himself and his old college professor Morrie. As they reconnect during the professor's final months of life, they discuss everything from greed and forgiveness to death and a meaningful life. I think this has been called the world's best-selling memoir, Roga, which is something for you to aim for here now that yours is coming out, right?
Really? How about Punk to Monk? You
You
think this is right up there?
There's catching up to do, but
we got a little catching
just
up.
getting started.
We're working on it.
Yeah. So apparently, like I think Morrie was like a sociology professor, and he just had his insights into life, and they get shared through the book apparently. So let's hear. I assume this is what Morrie was saying.
Okay, here he goes. Part of the problem is that everyone is in such a hurry. People haven't found meaning in their lives, so they're running all the time looking for it. They think
Looking
the
for
next
meaning?
car, the next house, the next job. Then they find these things are empty too, and they just keep running. Shelter said it many years before.
Oh, yeah, before Morrie.
I'm sorry, Morrie.
Maybe Morrie got it.
We were on this. It's called busy doing nothing.
Maybe Morrie was listening to Shelter.
You know what? You'd be surprised who listens to Shelter. But
We
that
had a
is
lot
the
of
fact.
elderly sociology professors in the audience.
Well, we were talking about yesterday how there is no map. People have no map. They don't know what direction. They don't even know there is a map. They don't even know that life has a purpose. They're just sort of like, it's like, here's life, create a purpose out of it. But according to the Vedas and all the great acharyas, all the great masters, there is a purpose. There is a direction. There is a train track and an arrow to follow. And we've created a busyness before we have direction. That's like saying drive before we even know the direction to drive in, before we even have a compass or a GPS.
Yeah, well,
That's what I'm
those
talking
kind
about.
of things like philosophy, they're not important. The arts, they're not important. Trying to understand why we live and why we're in this world. No, that's not important.
It's like figure out how to make money so you can get stuff.
Yeah.
And this stuff will make you happy. That's
gotta
sort of
talk
what
about
we've
these
been
things.
reduced to.
We learn how to think. We're forgetting how to think.
Yeah, I'm
see
not even
going
saying
on.
be a Hare Krishna. At least figure out where we want to go, where the ladder of success is meant to bring us. You
Yeah.
know, if you're climbing the ladder, well, first figure out what success is
Okay.
before
Well,
you're climbing so hard, so fast.
What I couldn't help but think of when I read this were people, they haven't found meaning in their lives, so they're running all the time looking for it. They think the next car, the next house, the next job. Then you get those things. You work hard to get them, sacrifice a lot. Then they find these things are empty too. And then they keep running. That's the musk deer right there,
Trying to find the scent out there, but it's actually right in their little
that musk aroma is what?
Isn't the musk within its own coolie?
I don't know what you're talking. It's inside. Oh man, yes. Pull yourself together, Ragnar. It's inside the body of the deer. Okay.
Yeah, but I was being a little bit more explicit in a very sort of like mom type of way.
Okay. Well, so the deer has a gland
Yes.
that emits this enchanting aroma. Oh, Did we tell you? Yesterday, I told Mara. Yesterday, I got a little guru oil.
Oh, you got real from Indrajumna Swami? He has real
Yes.
musk.
That's illegal, right?
No, he has real musk from 1936.
I've held real musk in my hand before,
No, you
like
haven't.
the organ that it comes from. Like
No, that's fake. That's fake. They
Raghunath?
sell it on the streets of Rishikesh. It's fake. It's not real.
Raghunath, you think I'm going through just any Rishikesh street vendor? No, my friend.
Okay, I don't believe it.
I was shown that.
Where can you get? You can't get it. It's illegal.
Raghunath,
What are you dealing with? Hunters? You're
Raghunath,
finding hunters
come
out
on,
there?
this is me you're talking to, huh? You don't think I got any juice in this town? You don't think I got like No, this is by this man who's like, he's very close with like the in the Madhva Sampradaya. He's like way up there. He's very close with the with the sannyasis that are like the leaders of the Madhva Sampradaya, and he's got this elaborate puja set up, and he started breaking out everything, including that musk. And this man would not settle for any substitute.
Huh.
But in any case, setting all that aside for now.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
I thought he was like a Dr. Doolittle, friends with
You
the
just
animals.
don't like
Come
it
here,
that
Musk, really?
you just don't like it that I've touched it and you haven't.
I've
That's the
touched
problem.
musk, man. I've got
From
like
where?
vintage musk from Indrajumna Swami.
Okay.
He goes, you know what musk is? I go, musk? That's illegal. You can't get musk. He goes, it's from 1936.
He probably got it from the same guy that I got it from.
Maybe.
All right. So in any case, the deer has this gland that's emits this beautiful fragrance, like enchanting fragrance.
I mean, it's not.
And
It's a strong fragrance. It's not like jasmine. You ever
No,
seen-
it's overpowering. It's like it's captivating, and it's
good.
searching for it. It's running around. Where is it? It's chasing it.
Yeah, it's right in this cooler. It's right within him.
It's right inside it all along, but it tires it out, and it's searching here and searching there. It's not finding it anywhere, and so that's the deal. This is reality. This Morrie, he was onto something. He understood it. We shouldn't let our days go by without inquiring into the meaning of life, without digging deeper, and we should wise up and realize that external things do not deliver. They don't deliver the happiness. They don't deliver the meaning. They don't deliver the satisfaction that we're looking for. That's something that we find inside, Raghunath. You with me? You won't even find it on the chat board, no matter how long you stare at it. It's not there, Raghunath.
No, Henry wrote me a private message that Morrie is this devotee that we know, uncle. I mean,
Oh. Okay, so Morrie had a nephew that's a devotee.
yeah.
You see that? That's just like 2 degrees of separation right there.
Yeah, not even. It's 1 degree separation. Henry
Is it?
introduced
1
me
degree
to
would
him
be
years
like
ago.
1 degree would be the devotee, and then the second degree would be Morrie. That's 2 degrees.
It's 2 degrees. Okay.
Okay.
Well, okay. Go on.
All right, but this is going to happen because we're going to hear some choice verses from little sweet, deeply devoted, deeply realized little boy Prahlad today.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to speak about something that kind of touches on this too. All right?
All right, it's very good.
What?
Something very profound to say. Now I forgot it.
All right. It'll come back.
The deer, the musk, the hidden. Okay.
Just leave it right there, right now. Just leave it.
Just
Okay,
leave it
keep-
there.
move along.
Okay. Rainam namaskritya naram chaivanarottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshva badreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated. And loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Agyana Timarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My teachers are opening my eyes with a torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Okay,
Yeah.
here's what I was going to say, and this is important.
I told you to come back.
Yeah, you can't. This is a problem that we're running around busy doing nothing, and then we think, you know what? My whole life I've just been busy. You know what I have to do? I have to do nothing, and this is what people do either in retirement or they do it when they get some midlife crisis, and they quit their busyness and end up just doing nothing. And they lament because they realize, wait a second, now what's life's purpose? And it doesn't necessarily bring them to God. It brings them to, I'm going to downsize. I'm going to cash out. I'm going to move to the, move to Central America. I'm going to just start surfing again. And oftentimes that has no purpose also. It's just slower. And so I think when people are real doers in the world, that's not a bad thing. And I just want to emphasize that. But it's the why behind we're doing. I don't think people who are professionals and busy and really have a brain that can expand and control so many things, I don't think that's a bad thing, and you got to kill that part of yourself. Okay. You just have to engage that. You got to engage that in bhakti, because there is a busyness in that, and people are like, you know what, I just gotta, this is and
nobody's saying don't be busy. Nobody's saying that.
No, I know. I understand that. But I'm just saying we can fall into that thing to think that just quitting busyness is spiritual, and it's not necessarily spiritual at all.
Thank you for clarifying that, Raghunath.
Okay.
Do you have to do everything around here? Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 5, Text 25.
Well, we had one thing left.
What episode this is?
1266.
Kostuba, while you were zoned out yesterday because your camera died, we finished it.
Oh, you did do? Okay.
We did. Life goes on even when you're not here, Kostuba. Isn't that crazy?
I resent that, Raghunath, you moving on without me like that.
Sorry. The whole world was going to take a moment of silence, but
sorry. Okay. All right. Then we're on the next verse.
We're on text 25.
So
I don't think I said anything quite profound, but I did wind it up.
Okay, good. I wanted to wind it up, so I appreciate that you did that. So now Prahlad has said what he said. He gave the answer. The 9 processes of devotional service was his favorite thing that he's learned. Yeah, and his father is gonna freak out.
Yeah, that's not good news. Okay.
And he's gonna get asked the 4th question today, Raghunath, the 4th.
Okay. After hearing these words of devotional service from the mouth of his son Prahlad, Hiranyakashipu is extremely angry, his lips trembling. He spoke as follows to Sanda, that was the teacher, the son of his guru, Sukracharya.
Imagine how terrifying it must have been to look into the face of Hiranyakashipu and his lip is trembling in anger.
Yeah, sure.
But
I didn't like even to look in my father's face when he got angry. But just speak of Hiranyakashipu.
But little Prahlad, he's just transcending the whole thing.
Oh, unqualified, most heinous son of a Brahmana. You have disobeyed my order and taken shelter of the party of my enemies. So he's chastising the teacher. You have taught this poor boy about bhakti. What is this nonsense?
Oof.
27.
Of course, Hiranyakashipu is on that level where he thought himself above everyone, but it is the son of his guru. Like Shukracharya was powerful. I wonder exactly how Hiranyakashipu related to Shukracharya. Maybe he just saw him as like, I could just replace this guy. He does his rituals.
I don't want to speculate.
Yeah.
I don't want to speculate. I don't think that's healthy.
Okay. All right, Raghunath, I'm glad. Very chaste of you.
In due course of time, various types of diseases are manifest in those who are sinful. That's what I've heard. Similarly, in this world, there are many deceptive friends in false garbs. Looking around here. Okay. But eventually, because of their false behavior, their actual enmity becomes manifest.
This is total paranoia because these teachers didn't have anything to do with it.
No, they would have done whatever he said, but he just happened to be born a pure devotee. He had nothing to do with these teachers.
Yeah, just to be clear,
not wanting to serve Hiranyakashipu.
Hiranyakashipu was wanting to get materialistic answers out of his son, and his son keeps coming back with these pure bhakti yoga answers, and he's upset with the teachers. It must be the teachers that are teaching him this. Where else is it going to come from? Mm-hmm. And so he's taking it out on the teachers, although it's really not. It wasn't them that were responsible.
No, you can't figure this bhakti thing out. It seems like you do everything right, and the kids turn out not right. You know. Then you get someone like Maya who shows up from an Instagram ad. She shows up. Maya didn't even know anything about bhakti. She just came from.
And her name is Maya.
And her name is Maya. And she came from an Instagram ad we did for Kirtan Academy, right? And she's like, yeah, I'm a card carrying Hare Krishna. I've been trying to like jump through hoops to get my kids to chant the holy name, and like she just shows out of nowhere with an Instagram ad. You can't figure this stuff out.
All right.
So let's hear the son of Sukracharya, Hiranyakashipu's spiritual master. Wait, the son of Sukracharya.
Sukracharya is the spiritual master.
The son of Sukracharya. Okay.
Who is
Hiranyakashipu's guru, spiritual master, said, "O enemy of King Indra, O king, whatever your son Prahlad has said was not taught to him by me or anyone else.
It wasn't me.
It was like Maya. His spontaneous bhakti has naturally developed in him. Therefore, please give up your anger and do not unnecessarily accuse us. It is not good to insult a Brahmana in this way."
Oh, pulling that old Brahmin card out, playing the Brahmin card, dealing it from the bottom of the deck.
Don't get mad at Brahmins. Sri Narada Muni continued. When Hiranyakashipu received this reply from the teacher, he again addressed his son, Prahlad. Hiranyakashipu said, "You rascal, most fallen of our family." Kid's only 5 years old. Cut him some slack. "You rascal, most fallen of our family. If you have not received this education from your teachers, where have you gotten it?"
So he flipped quick there. He's angry, and
now he's going to get angry at his kid.
It's the kid. Okay,
it's the kid. Blame the kid.
So now that was the fourth question, Raghunath. If you have not received this education from your teachers, where have you gotten it? And now there's going to be 3 or 4 verses here that are, legendary, giving clear, lucid insight into the nature of this world that we're moving through and how we relate to it.
Prahlad is a legend. Legend. I like how people say that now. Legend.
One of the 12 authorities. Epic.
Legend. Because of their uncontrolled senses, listen to this. This is good.
Slow down a little, Robert.
Yeah, you slow that down so I can. You slow.
Pull the trigger.
Instruction.
Pull the slow trigger. Slow.
Oh yeah. Because of their uncontrolled senses, persons too addicted to material life make progress towards hellish conditions and repeatedly chew that which has already been chewed.
Boom.
Their inclinations, Their inclinations towards Krishna are never aroused either by the instructions of others, by their own efforts, or by a combination of both. So this is a great one. I've used this line in a song, chewing the chewed. Chewing the chewed is great. It's like every parent knows this because you give a kid a piece of gum. They chew the gum. There's no flavor left. And they go, "Here, Dad, you want my gum?" And they're like offering it back. It's got no flavor at this point. That, they say, is the material world. The material world is, hey, you do something that's exciting, and then you do it again, and the flavor's a little less exciting. You do the same thing again, and and after a while, it's like that same thing that was really exciting is now boring. That's why there's a
Right.
bucket list, because after you do it on the bucket, it's like, okay, I don't have to do that again. You know, it's only, they say, in spiritual life that it's ever fresh. Spiritual life becomes ever fresh. It doesn't get. I've been to Vrindavan and Govardhan Hill many, many times.
The flavor doesn't come out. It gets more flavorful
Yeah,
as you chew it.
Yeah, it's like a gum that gets better tasting. Imagine that gum.
It's like juicier fruit the more you chew it.
Juicy fruit. Yeah. It doesn't get.
It gets more bubblelicious as you go.
That's the thing about all the things that should get dry. If you think about it, when I was little, I remember that, I don't know if you must remember this, when a good song was on the radio, you would go out and buy the single. People don't do that now, but you'd buy the single. I want to get the single, and I want to play the single, and you play that single 1,000 times until you were repulsed by that song. That same song that was like #1 song, now you're repulsed by that very same song, because it doesn't have that type. It can't stand the test of time, so to speak. Maybe you can revisit it in a year, 6 months, or 10 years, but for the most part, things get stale and things get dry. Things of higher quality, things in goodness, they stand the test of time a little bit longer. But the same thing, if you think about what you and I did every day while we lived in an ashram, every day we wake up at 4 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning, and we go sing a song, the song to the gurus. And in every temple, there's morning songs you sing. And what is that song? It's just like a little simple melody every day that you sing, and sometimes not even
melody.
Same melody.
If you're singing a different melody, everybody's looking like you. What are you doing?
What are you doing? You can't change up the melody on us.
You don't change it.
You do the exact same thing every day. And sometimes it's not like you're singing with like Pavarotti either. It's sometimes like the worst singer in the temple is singing it.
Okay.
So it's not like oh, what a great singer. It's sometimes a lousy singer. But every day you are there for that same song, and it never gets old. There's millions of songs, and you're singing the same one. Someone could argue, well, all right, change it up. Let somebody else sing it. Sometimes there was a temple singing Hog as well. We won't get into that. It wasn't the one guy that sang it every day. But for the most part, it's the same exact song, same exact melody, and every day. And it doesn't get old. You don't go wide to let's try another song today. No, same songs every day. You don't have to go wide with these songs. You go deep with these songs.
Thank you, Raghunath. Yeah, so, this is related to what Morrie was saying. They think the next car, I've already had one car. I chewed it up, got some juice, but then I'm chewing the chewed. I need another car. But even getting another car is another way of chewing the chewed, I need another house. I need another job.
I had a client that had 2 Lamborghinis. He didn't have 1 Lamborghini. He had 2 Lamborghinis.
But he says, but then they find that these things are empty too. There's no juice left. The juice has been chewed out of them. They're empty, right? And then they keep running. So little Prahlad, he's saying this, because the senses are uncontrolled. Until the senses are controlled, there's no satisfaction. Only when we've learned to control our senses, when we've learned that I'm not getting satisfied this way, the senses are pulling me to get more externals, but it's still not delivering satisfaction. How long will I keep following this path that this random programming in my mind is has me convinced to keep following? Can I recognize there's just so little juice in this, and you chew it a little bit and it's gone, and you keep chewing and keep chewing and keep chewing? You know what I think is what could be a valuable exercise for us right now?
Okay.
You just put this in your mind, this idea of chewing the chewed. Keep that in your head, right?
I do all the time.
And then go through a 24-hour period and ask yourself, at this moment, am I chewing the chewed? Am I trying to get some flavor out of something where I've done it and because it's a material thing, it had maybe a little juice in the beginning, but I'm still, you know, when I'm scrolling through Instagram, you know,
Well, it's
like,
actually quite fulfilling, actually.
it's deeply satisfying
Deeply
and meaningful.
fulfilling.
Okay. And you know, what I find is when I get there now, I get to this point where I'm like, that was absurd. That was
Not only was
insulting my
absurd,
intelligence.
I was
That-
disgusted.
this
I
is,
feel disgusted.
I mean,
I
part
feel
of it is
dirt.
like, this
And it-
girl's trying to turn me on. This girl's trying to turn me on. This girl's trying to turn me on. Like, that's part of it,
What kind of
right?
feed do you have, sir?
I'm
I'm just looking at animals. I'm just looking at animals attacking animals.
That's another thing. That's another thing. Yeah, but a lot of this stuff is just like, it's almost like insulting to the intelligence, you know, because they're just silly, wacky, dumb things that are just trying to catch our attention, just
Yeah.
trying to get us to click, just trying to get us, like we're just here to increase their algorithm or something like that.
Now I'm
And-
following a lot of vegan recipes. That's what I'm following. And I also
Vegan
follow like natural cleaning products, believe it or not. Just like
Is it deeply satisfying, right?
it's interesting, it's informative, but I get the idea. The scrolling itself is chewing that which is it's exhausting, and it doesn't
Yeah,
make you
the
feel good about
YouTube.
yourself. It doesn't make you
YouTube.
feel good about yourself.
YouTube.
So someone could argue, well, aren't you doing that? You're chanting the same mantra every day. You're trying to
well, that's
milk some pleasure out of it. And the answer,
that's-
is no. There actually is
yes
pleasure.
or no. Was it yes or no?
There actually is pleasure there. It is the same thing. You are showing up every day doing the same thing, but there's pleasure there. This is what the acharyas, and this is what the acharyas say, the masters say. But they also, but we've experienced also. So that's why sometimes we can just sit there and so-called do nothing except hear the holy name. What? But
Well,
yeah,
so
there's something
here's the
deep
thing:
there.
is as long as our mind and senses are plugged in and we can't shake them, it's like, you know, it's like you can't shake it off. You know, shake it off from like that pursuit of external satisfaction.
Mhm.
Until we can shake that off, we're not able to go deep within on anything meaningful.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you can let that go, then these deeply spiritual things, you find that no matter how, as you're saying, no matter how much you bring your mind back to it, you start to go deeper into it and realize just how special it is. It's the gum that gets juicier as you go in. We read last week this statement by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Remember this one about, he said, I've been thinking about this a lot. This is real important to those bhakti practitioners out there. If you're a bhakti practitioner, right? If you're like, yes, that is my practice. I don't only find it interesting or appealing, or I don't only believe that there's truth in it, but I actually practice it.
Yeah. I don't just love the food.
Yeah. So if you practice it, what he said was that he was talking about how when we chant this name, it's not just a sound that's created by the tongue and the lips, right? He's saying it's not just lip deep. That's not, if you're chanting on just that level of making this sound vibration with the mouth, that's actually not the spiritual substance. That's not actually Krishna's name. That's kind of like a mundane sound. Like it's just sound. It's just the same kind of material energy as anything else. He said that this name, it descends from the spiritual realm and it enters the heart. And then from the heart, you chant it. And then as that passes through the tongue and the lips, when it's heart deep, not lip deep, that's actually Krishna's name. That's that transformative, super powerful, bubblelicious, ever increasing. What is it? You know, like that's the nature of,
that's squirt gum.
Cheto Darpana Marjanam, Baba Mahadavagni Nirvabna, Shaya Kariva Chandrika Vitarnam, Vidyavaru Jivanam, Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. It's an ever increasing ecstasy, right? So I was thinking about that too. How does it descend into the heart? You know, and Krishna is not different from the name, and Krishna is not different from Bhagavatam. You know, it's all the same substance. It's Krishna. So the more that that energy is descending in different ways. It's descending in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. When we read it, it enters the heart and gives us something. It gives us that spiritual, transcendental connection whereby we can chant from the heart rather than just the lips by hearing from Bhagavatam. As we were reading, about Vandanam or about Archanam the other day, being in the temple and with your eyes taking in the vision of that form, that's powerful. Being in the holy Dham, being in these holy places, something goes into the heart, and that's what you're going to chant from. That's what's going to come up. It's descending from the spiritual world. It's entering the heart. If we can just get a little bit there, just a little bit, we'll start to taste something special, and we'll begin to relish it. It may seem like it's got no flavor. Actually, it's the opposite, right? What is it? Bhagavad Gita, right? That's it seems like nectar in the beginning, but it's like poison in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This,
as material existence seems like nectar. What have I done? I feel horrible now. What was I thinking?
It seems bubblelicious in the beginning, but then it's like, oh God, this is just like, and not gum doesn't only get lose the flavor, but it starts to get harder too.
Hard to
it's like
chew. Your mouth is your jaw's sore.
I'm still chewing away. But the flip side is the spiritual is in the beginning, it doesn't seem like nectar at all, but then it starts to get turned into nectar the more that you actually connect with it. That's what these spiritual practices will become: the sitting and the chanting, the witnessing, the ceremonies in the temples, the picking up the book and reading from it used to bore me. Now it seems like it's my fascination with it, and the satisfaction I get and the benefit I get just keeps growing.
I like it more now that I'm older. I like Krishna consciousness more.
That's the proof right there. That's the proof. You want to read some from the commentary?
Yeah. Text 30 commentary.
Yeah.
In this verse, the words matir na Krishna refer to devotional service rendered to Krishna. So-called politicians, erudite scholars, and philosophers who read Bhagavad Gita try to twist some meaning from it to suit their material purposes, where their misunderstandings of Krishna will not yield them any profit. Because such politicians, philosophers, and scholars are interested in using the Bhagavad Gita as a vehicle for adjusting things materially, for them, constant thought of Krishna or Krishna consciousness is impossible. Matir na Krishna.
The mind will not be attracted. The mind will not have that magnetic connection, right? It won't be absorbed in it.
As stated in the Bhagavad Gita 1855, this big one, Bhaktyamam abhijanati. Only through bhakti or devotional service can one understand Krishna. Isn't that a great verse? Everyone should at least learn that line. Bhaktyamam abhijanati. Only through bhakti. Only through me, Mom. Through devotion to me can one understand Krishna as he is. The so-called politicians and scholars think of Krishna as fictitious. Sometimes you see they write this, Krishna. The politician says that his Krishna is different from Krishna depicted in the Bhagavad Gita.
He's talking. You know who he's talking about here?
Who? Nehru?
No, I believe that he's talking about Dr. Radhakrishnan, who did that Bhagavad Gita commentary, where when he came to text 934. Where, not that only there, but Prabhupada used to talk about particularly that commentary that he wrote, which it's a verse where I think 5 or 6 times Krishna says me, right?
Sure.
Manmana bhavamad bhakti. Always think of me, become my devotee, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Thus you will come to me. He says, this me here they're talking about, doesn't mean Krishna. It means the dark unknown within. It's like,
I was going to say Rahul Gandhi. He had a famous quote recently. It was like, all you guys just walk around. What were we supposed to do? Chant Ram's name all day long?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, we are.
Wasn't that what Gandhi chanted in his last moment? Yes, as a matter of fact.
Yes, he is. Sorry. He's not going to win. Okay.
Easy, bro. Not stay. Just hold. Mayor's over there, like, slow down there.
Here he goes. Modi was like, yes, we are supposed to chant his name.
Prime Minister Modi.
Okay. The so-called politicians and scholars think Krishna as fictitious. He's not. The politician says that his Krishna is different from the Krishna depicted in the Gita. Even though he accepts Krishna and Rama as the supreme, he thinks of Rama and Krishna as impersonal because he has no idea of service to Krishna. Thus, his only business is punas charavita charvananam. That means chewing the chewed.
Again and again.
Again and again. The aim of such politicians and academic scholars is to enjoy this material world with their bodily senses. Therefore, it's clearly stated here that those who are griha vrata, whose only aim is to live comfortably within the body in the material world, cannot understand Krishna.
Griha
Two
vrata,
expressions
they've taken a vow.
Of just being soft.
Or griha, like the home, really, but like, a vow to try to enjoy,
Sure.
The material home, I suppose you say.
Sure. Or the material body. Yeah.
Griha?
Indicate that a materialistic person tries to enjoy the sense gratification in different bodily forms, life after life, but is still unsatisfied. It's really true. In the name of personalism, this ism or that ism, such persons always remain attached to materialistic way of life, as stated in the Gita. Great verse to know. Bogaishvarya prashaktanam taya parita chetasam vyavasyakmika buddhi samadho nadvidhyate. In the minds of those who are attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence, and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for bhakti to the Supreme Lord does not take place. Those who are attached...
That verse, that connects to what this verse that said, Mati na Krishna, right? It does not arise in your mind. That connection, that taste, that, oh, this thing has more flavor, that always increases and increases and increases until we get the material drive, until we start to let go of that material drive. We don't realize that. Right?
They're red flags for us, Boga and Aishvarya. The Boga is, how can I enjoy? And Aishvarya is like, oh, look at that. It's the elite level. This type of opulence will make me happy. I've been at this lower tier level. I want to get to that elite platinum level. It's
perhaps all the latest truck with all of the fancy things on it.
Correct. Yeah, will make you happy.
The truck.
The point is, it's one thing to be attracted by things, but it's another thing to be bewildered by them. You might say, oh yeah, I would like to do that. I'd like to have that status or that elite level or that platinum or that full, high-end package. But if you actually think, no, that's actually going to satisfy my soul, you're off. Let the red flags go up. It won't fulfill what you actually want. It'll fulfill something, but it will become like chewing that which is being chewed. You won't even notice it after a while, right? There's certain people who already have what you have. No, there's certain people who want what you already have. And they think, if I could just be like you, right? But you already have it, and it's not a big deal. There's certain people, whatever you think your house is, you think, I live in an okay house. There's certain people who'd be like, oh my God, if I could only live in, Jeff Eisenberg's house, David Charles Wilson's house, Kylie's house, and you already have it. You think, well, how can I expand? They'd kill themselves. They can't even imagine having the luxury to have a computer, the luxury to be sitting back on a couch, the luxury to be, whatever luxuries we have. We have a car and a motorcycle, or a car, or we have a car that works. We have a vehicle. We have so much already.
And it's got no flavor left.
We just sort of take it for granted.
Raghunath, what you just said reminds me of the wisdom that came from our old friend, Francois de la Roquefoucauld.
He's not my friend.
No friend
I know
of mine.
who he is. I don't think I even like him.
We've spoken about. We had a nugget from him a long time ago. Francois Martin, help. Francois de la Roquefoucauld.
Martin did it. Francois
yeah,
de
but
la
that doesn't help me. That's exactly what I'm trying to read from. Maybe we should unmute her. Get the proper pronunciation here.
Yeah.
But he said, though, Raghunath, hear this out. I think you're going to like this. And I think you're going to find that he was more than just a great head of hair, okay? He said, before we set our hearts too much upon anything, let us examine how happy they are who already possess it.
Great one.
You like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice nugget.
How are they
okay?
doing? They've already reached that. They've already reached that particular brand or flavor of success. Where are they at now? Have they hit some type of? When I was young, I always felt like the real successful people are like saints or sages or mystics. That's what I feel like these guys are more successful because they're happy with nothing. You know what I mean? That to me, I was like, you don't need anything. These guys have figured it out without
They're
anything.
onto something.
Yeah, they're onto something. Because we meet lots
Nice.
of people who have stuff that are just sort of like miserable, commit suicide, neurotic, psychotic.
Mhm.
You know, in the same way you meet people who have nothing and also miserable, neurotic, psychotic. So I was like, it's not a material metric. It's got to be something else. How can you be happy with nothing? What a
there's
great
really
thing
something-
to ask yourself. How can I be happy with nothing?
Nothing. Or to think of the Vaishnava sadhu, right? The renounced bhakti yogi,
Yeah.
who's what they have is this name, right? It's like so many have written like this. You know, the 6 Goswamis. I was hearing a wonderful lecture on Jiva Goswami by Radhika Raman Prabhu, who we've had on the show before, the professor, right? Oxford grad PhD.
Where'd you hear that?
Did his-
Where'd you hear that?
on YouTube. It was from
Send me the link. That's
yeah,
the
there's a
kind of
whole
link you got to
series.
send me.
all
You
right.
send me these animals attacking links. Send me that
I never
link.
send you animal attacking links. but
Calling
I'll
you
send
out.
it. He's got a whole series. He's got several series. But he was
Send me a link.
speaking
I want to
about-
get it. Send maybe put it on the
Okay.
chat board next time I talk.
Okay. So he was describing who Jiva Goswami was. Now Jiva Goswami was the nephew of Rupa and Sanatana Goswami,
Right.
right? So just because you're saying that I can concentrate on other things while you're talking doesn't mean that I appreciate it when you do. but he began to say that Rupa and Sanatan were at practically the very highest levels of the governments of the area that we now call Bengal. And that means Bangladesh and West Bengal, which was the most prosperous and, wealthy of all the different areas that we now call India.
Yeah.
And so there was the Muslim ruler. I believe he was called the Nawab.
The
right?
Nawab. It's like a governor or something.
Yeah, he was like a governor. And they say Rupa and Sanatan were like number 3 and 4. If the Nawab was number 1, he had his number 2. And then Rupa and Sanatan were like 3 and 4.
Yeah.
But they say that number 2 is actually never really trusted because that's the person shooting for the number 1 position.
So they trusted these guys. They trusted these great saints, Rupa
Yes.
and Sanatan, much more than their own number 2. That makes sense because
And
there was no way they were going to let the Hindus take over that position.
Yeah, that would never happen. And your number 2 guy is the one that's shooting for it. So you're not actually revealing. That means if I die, that person becomes, but you're not revealing to him your weaknesses, or, you're not opening up and giving that person too much power. And so he said Rupa was basically like a prime minister, like he was the one. And Sanatan was like the person that was the head of the finance, like all the economy and all that. And so this is the kind of family that Jiva Goswami was growing up in.
Yeah.
He was incredibly well educated and just incredibly brilliant, And these are the people that left it all behind, put on basically rags, like you take a piece of cloth, you wrap it around your waist, and that's it.
Yeah, I know. It's not like you and me are like putting on rags. We were already wearing rags. It's like, okay, I'm going to shift from my punk rags to these rags. We were already wearing nothing.
but their rags, when they put in rags, it's just like I'm not at all concerned with looking special in any way. Just give me that piece of cloth and I'll wrap it around my waist and I'm ready to go. And they were sleeping under a different tree every night. So the treasures that they had in their roles in the government were like, palaces and, incredible material opulence. They let it all go because none of that had any flavor. But what did have flavor and what they considered the greatest treasure was this name, just the name, Krishna. That's it. Rupa Goswami, he wrote this verse, right? What is it? How does it start? I'll slip in my mind right now, but
the name is very good.
I was thinking a little Sanskrit would help.
I don't know.
Although that's a beautiful composition you just came up with.
Thank you. No, but Prabhu,
the verse I'm thinking about, I'll give you the English.
Okay.
Is that when I chant the holy name, when the holy name is dancing on my tongue, then I wish I had thousands and thousands of tongues. Right? I think he says millions of tongues. It's like I just can't taste it enough. It's so sweet. I just, When the holy name of Krishna enters into my ears, I wish I had thousands of ears. And when the holy name enters into the courtyard of the heart, it conquers my senses, right? And I forget exactly what it said, but it conquers the heart. And my senses become inert. Like he goes into a deep spiritual trance, relishing, tasting the super bubblelicious flavor that never ends. I do not know how much nectar. It doesn't run out of nectar. No. It just keeps producing more nectar. I do not know
like
how much
squirt gum that never ends.
It never ends. Every bite, it's squirting out more. I do not know how much nectar the two syllables Krishna have produced. That's Rupa Goswami.
Right.
He's got nothing he had so much external opulence, he walked away from it.
Yeah, this is the point. You and I became monks. We didn't give up anything. We had nothing. It's like, okay,
we did give up a few things.
We're gonna go from being like homeless punk guys to like homeless monk guys. Who cares, punk to monk? You're already got nothing. It's one thing when you got a lot and you're like, you know what? I'm over all that I got. That's a huge bit. That's a big step. They had so much and they gave it up.
And of course, there's that famous story about Sanatana Goswami where it was rumored that he had this magical valuable touchstone. Yeah, kind of this, this kind of mystical stone that can transform metal into gold. And people heard about this, and one person came and had the audacity to just ask for it. Right?
Give me your touchstone.
Could you give me that stone? And Sanatana Goswami is just sitting there chanting his japa, and he's like, "Oh, it's over there." And it's like, "Really? I can just take it if you want to." It was lying there in like a garbage heap. Yeah. And then he's like, bingo, like I didn't think it was gonna be that easy. And he gets that stone and then he's walking away. And after a while, he begins to think to himself, he gave up this stone so easily. He's got something better. He's got something better over there, right? So he goes back and he says, I was thinking to myself that if a person's like really blunt, I know you must have something better for you to give this up, to have it lying there in the garbage and just let me walk away with it. What have you got that's so special? And Sanatana Goswami says, I can tell you, I can give it to you. But first, what do you have to do?
You got to throw that stone away.
Take that touchstone and throw it away. Now
whip that stone into the Yamuna River. That's
like one of those, or you can go for, you just won $50, but you want to go for $100. I don't know.
I'll take what's behind door number 2.
I don't want to lose the 50, but there's 100. And so he threw it. And then he said, so what is it? It's the holy name of Krishna, the Maha Mantra. That
must have been like,
no, he jumped into the river.
Looking for that.
But that is the treasure. There are things in this world. They're not the external things, but they're these are things on a whole nother level. The name of Krishna, the Srimad Bhagavatam, the beautiful transcendental form of Krishna, the holy Dham of Krishna, the association of great bhakti yogis. These things, externally, they have no value, but they have tremendous spiritual value that will never get dry and tasteless. Rather, the more you chew it, the more juice that's there, the sweeter it gets.
We're
Tunde
tremendous spiritual
tundavali
value.
ritim vatanute. That's the verse. Tunde tundavali ritim vatanute tundavali labte. Go ahead. So go ahead.
We're tremendous spiritual value from Harrisburg.
Tremendous spiritual value. Well,
Okay.
maybe not tremendous. But
Then they go by like an acronym, like TS.
tremendous spirit.
B,
TSV.
V,
Yo,
TS.
I'm with TSV.
Oh, these guys are in TSV. Let them in. I'm with them.
Tremendous spiritual value.
Spiritual value. That's a good name. Tremendous spiritual value. Mara, anything to take away today?
God,
a lot of
man,
interesting
yeah.
things said today.
Yeah, I got some good stuff today.
How do you do this? I never see you write. You're always just knitting. Whenever I look to the right, you're knitting.
Don't
It
get
never
too
gets
busy.
dry for her, Raghu.
It's true.
Knitting.
Yeah.
Because she's knitting for Krishna.
Mhm.
Is she?
Little, yeah, and little scarves. And
She does. She does.
I do.
Yeah. Our
There's a
deities
lot
have
of little
lots of good
scarves.
stuff.
Yeah. Don't get too busy doing nothing.
Don't get busy doing nothing, peeps.
Figure out success before you climb the ladder.
Oh, yeah. Because you might end up going up the wrong wall.
Hmm. Wise up and realize externals won't make us happy.
Bold, wise
Ain't going to
up.
happen, Raghu.
Spiritual life is ever fresh. It gets more flavorful.
Ever fresh.
Mhm. Your new car is chewing the chewed.
Oh.
Chewing the chewed. Raghu.
Until the senses are controlled, there's no satisfaction.
I know
it. Now,
Oh,
you
no.
you
Sorry,
got to
Bach-
realize, you got to realize, man, you got to be a little more careful.
Sorry. Bhakti is an everlasting, ever sweetening gobstopper.
Ooh.
Oh.
You guys like that? I think it's better than the squirty gum.
I'd like the squirt gum that never ends.
Squirt
every
gum's
bite.
gross.
Squirt gum wasn't gross. It was great. Freshen up. Cinnamon. Come on.
How can we be happy with nothing?
How
That's
can
a
we?
Good question. How do you-
Oh, my question was, am I chewing the chewed right now?
Mm.
Remember that one, everyone out there. Think about that today as you're doing your stuff.
And
Mm.
it gets more bubblelicious as you go.
What
Bhakti.
happened?
It gets
What happened
more
to the
bubbles.
musk and the coolie? I thought that was going to go in there somewhere.
I left behind the musk and the coolie.
Oh, everybody, thanks. Oh, look, there's a new Road Rage has a new. Let's pin this one up.
What's he got?
It's got Kostuba and Elon Musk. Thanks everybody
Oh,
for
Musk.
joining us. Check out the wisdomofthesages.com.
I don't get
Proof
it.
that
Proof
Kostuba
that Kostuba
touched
touched
Musk.
Musk. Gotcha.
I don't know how he does this so fast.
I touched it, Raghunath. The real stuff.
That's a cool. Now that I think about it, I never thought about that. Elon Musk. That's a great name. That would be like me getting the name Raghunath Aguru, Raghunath Ood, Raghunath Champak. Thanks everybody for joining us. Remember the Wisdom of Sages in Italy. Go to wisdomofsages.com/events. And my pilgrimage is coming up there. Go to raghunath.yoga for our Nepal and India pilgrimage. And remember, save the date for Memorial Day weekend. Woo-hoo-hoo. Up at Super Soul Farm. Look at Henry's excited. Bring a Morrie with you. Bring our friend Eric, nephew of Morrie. Jai Shri Krishna Bolo Jai Ram.